channel. As you can see, I've completed all the blue from the previous episode, and now I'm deciding which color I'm going to do next. I really hope this is something that people are interested in. It gives me a good sense of relaxation and calm. And it's just, I think painting specifically, just it gets you in a zone that maybe other things can't do. Some people like coloring, some people like crafting or scrapbooking and stuff, but I find that painting, you just get lost in it. So you can see I've chosen a different color blue today, and it doesn't look super dissimilar from the color that's on there until I start painting. Because when I start painting, you'll notice quite quickly, it's a little darker. I call it, it's a little more sky blue, whereas the other one is a little more of a gray blue, I suppose. In most of the cases for my painting, what I will do is I will outline each little segment. I don't always do that, but I find that to be the easiest because, especially in bigger portions or bigger segments that require more color, if you can get the edges done, then you can go back in with a bigger brush and use more paint and get the area covered quicker. What I'm doing here, it's off screen, but that's okay. I noticed the paint, was a little watery on the top. I'm not a big fan of this paint. I find it to be very liquidy. I think I said that last time too. But what I did off screen was I mixed it a little bit, just with the bottom of my paintbrush to give it a little more of thicker feel. But as you can probably tell, when I dip into the paint pot, it doesn't leave any indentation of where I had dipped. And in some paint pots, I find when you pick up a little bit of paint, it kind of leaves an indent of where it was, and sometimes it's a good consistency, and sometimes you need a little lighter of viscosity. But in this case, it's really light. And what I have to do in a lot of instances in this painting is go back over because it's really not covering well because it's so watery. In other paintings that I've done, I've noticed that the paint doesn't spread quickly. As you can see here, I'm just flying through some of these edges, and I don't have this sped up at all. This is not what I'm used to for painting, but this paint is so thin that I can just fly through the edges, and I can just fly through putting liquid paint on there. Or pardon me, just paint on there. And I'm just filling it in like crazy. But that also results in me having to get more paint more frequently because the paintbrush holds very little paint. Because it's like painting with water. This one, specifically this color, is more, and provides more coverage than the lighter blue that I did originally. But it's still very, very light viscosity. It's very thin. But I guess, I don't know if it's the shade, I don't know if it's because I mixed it better or stirred it up better, but it just seems to be covering a little easier than the other stuff did. You'll see me kind of hesitate every now and then because I'm trying to find the next place to paint. I don't know where the segments are before I start. I don't mark them in any way, so sometimes I'll get a little segment done and then I'll have to stop for a second, Like that one was pretty close to where I just finished, so finding it was pretty quick. But in some instances, I'll actually cut the scene and open it up again to a new video clip because I spend, without exaggerating, like 45 to 60 seconds looking for another segment to color, and that's just bare time. Basically, you guys staring at a canvas with nothing happening, and my eyes just going around like a squirrel, trying to find the next place to paint. I guess this journey for me is about painting and relaxation, and I listen to my own different types of ASMR on my device, which is over in the corner. You can't see it off screen, but I do have my device with ASMR playing. I have some favorites. I do like whisperers, I do like ramblers, I like role plays. I have probably 2 real favorites that I listen to the most, one more than the other. And there's days I'm like longing for them to come out, but I find if I'm in a place where I really need to relax and just kind of be chill, ASMR is my go-to. And if I have a quiet moment around the house, because I do have a small child, sometimes if he's not home, or if he's playing contentedly by himself for a little while, or he's, at a grandparent's house or something like that, I will take a moment, whether it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, 3 hours, to sit down and paint. Doing this painting was a little more, I guess, I didn't really expect how this was going to go about, because while painting on camera, I realized that to upload them to YouTube, where we are right now, I can't do huge clips, and I want you guys to see the journey and each color that I do. So I guess a thing that I ran into was I can't paint for long durations of time. Some of the last paintings I've done, I've sat down, like if my son is at his grandparents for a sleepover, or at an event or something where I don't need to be. I'm usually with my son 24/7, but in the off chance that he's playing with his other parent, or he's, doing anything that allows me a time, I'll sit down and do longer periods of time. And there have been times where I've painted for 2-3 hours. You can probably hear my heater in the background. I do apologize. It's a bit of a pain in the buns, but that's something unfortunately I can't control. Where I am right now, it's probably, I think it's 4 degrees Celsius outside, which is not terribly cold, but it's not terribly warm either. I'm in eastern Canada, and for it being May, 4 degrees is pretty typical. But of course, the heat is going to kick on to keep the house warmer than 4 degrees. So right now, that is what you're hearing. You're hearing my mini split kick in, and where the heat that blows from the top of the wall, you're going to hear that. So I do apologize if that's not something that, or if that's something that is bothersome or inconvenient for you for listening to this. Pardon me. As I said before, this is a really calming time for me, and if you watching this video is allowing to give you some time and some calming for yourself, and the fan kicking on, or the heater kicking on, is kind of ruining it for you, I do apologize. Feel free to leave me a comment in the bottom, because what I can do in the future is try to move my recording to another area. I don't have a huge home, but I can try to move to a different location where that won't necessarily be heard. And the only thing I worry about is if that's not heard, it may be something else. It may be traffic. It may be, hearing water running or something. I have no idea really what else could be heard, but I'm sure when you're really trying to be quiet, you hear everything. So anyways, as I said, I do apologize. Do feel free to leave some comments, though, if you'd like to see me move, so that's not a problem. I guess this is where, I guess I'll tell you a little bit about me, because I kind of get lost in even watching, because as you may know, I'm doing a voiceover, so I've recorded myself painting, and now I'm rewatching that video, and I'm voicing and speaking over it to create a video. So, I kind of get lost in watching myself paint too, so sometimes I might kind of get lost in what I'm talking about or rambling, so I'm trying to stay on a bit of a topic. I'm not scripted at all. That's why my channel's called As I Am ASMR, because the only thing I really edit out of these videos is long periods of time for me not doing anything like painting. So if I'm looking for a piece to color and it's taking more than 10 seconds, I cut the video, I find it, I start it up again, and I edit that video so it kind of dissolves into the other one. I try not to record more than one voice clip, or whatever you want to call it, for the video, because I'm a human being. I'm not perfect, I'm not a robot, and with other people that I listen to in ASMR, that's kind of what I appreciate about it, is you're getting real life stuff, and I think that is who I am as a person. I am this person that you see painting, I am this person you hear talking, and I'm not edited in real life, so I'm not going to be edited here, so I'm not scripted. I mean, I'm open to talking really about anything. There's not a whole lot that I won't talk about. I'm very open in my life with regards to how things are, how I am, where I live, who I am as a person. Pardon me. So, I mean, if anybody wants to know something or has a specific topic that they want me to speak on, or I don't know, there's certain things that people like, certain sounds that people like for ASMR. So if you're watching this, you're like, oh, I really like the painting, but I kind of wish you would, crinkle paper or tap, or I don't know, there's just different triggers for different people, and I'm open to doing any of those things. I just don't know what most people enjoy. I know that watching calming videos works for me, and I know that listening to people talk works for me. As I said in my last video, I realized I had an ASMR thing. Once I was a little girl, I used to listen to my grandfather talk, my uncle talk, and just their voices gave me tingles. And I didn't know it was a thing until maybe within the last 5 years, and I was just watching videos on YouTube, found people that I liked listening to, and they were just talking about whatever the topic of the video was. It wasn't listed as ASMR or anything, but then there was something that was called unintentional ASMR, and I was like, what is this? And then I was like, well, what's ASMR? And then I did a little bit of research, and I was like, holy cow, that's what I've been feeling since I was, knee-high to a grasshopper, so they say. So, that's what works for me. It doesn't mean that that's gonna work for you. But if you enjoyed the painting, and you're like, oh my god, I wish this girl would just stop talking, then I can do that. I can do just a video of painting with calm music in the background. Or if you're like, oh my god, I wish, she'd stop talking, but I really kind of wish she would tap blocks together. Or, crinkle tape. Or run her fingers along the microphone. I can do any of those things. I'm kind of going with what I know. I have no luck, clearly. I'm like one of those ASMR blue bursts. You can probably hear my fridge is now kicked in. I guess the heater that you just heard a few minutes ago made the room too warm, and or something of that nature. And now the fridge has decided it needs to be on. I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah, okay. So I totally kind of lost where I was, but I know that I was kind of talking about whatever it is that you guys want to talk about, what you want me to do with regards to sounds or whatever's gonna work for you. Okay. What I can't talk about, I guess, is a little bit about me as a person. I'm not going to give too much identifying information. I live in Eastern Canada. You can probably tell by my accent where in Eastern Canada I'm from. I'm currently a stay-at-home mom. I am not. I'm not working currently. I'm on a disability, and I just find painting and those things soothing. So I do those to help with my PTSD. I am university educated. I have 2 degrees under my belt. Because I know if anybody here is listening, they're going, oh, a Eastern Canadian. A lot of people from different parts of Canada think that Eastern Canadians are not necessarily the smartest. I guess I'm here to tell you that that's not the case. There's, everywhere you go in life, every walk of life, there are people who are uneducated or, don't make their, I guess, the people in their community or their province or their state or their country sound terribly smart. I think we all know that. But I am university educated. I have 2 degrees, which I work with for many years. My partner is university educated and is actually a professor at a university. So, my sibling is also university educated, also works at a university. I would say most of the people that I associate with are university educated or college educated in some way. I work with people in different walks of life, and by work with I mean kind of associate with. I am a person who kind of is very outwardly, on the surface I look, I guess, pretty social, and a lot of people say that I'm funny or what have you. I don't think of myself as a funny person. I simply think of myself as a down-to-earth person who is honest in every aspect. But, I'm not actually as extroverted as people might think that I am on appearances. I'm kind of more of a homebody. I do like staying home. My favorite person in the whole wide world is my child. My favorite hobbies really are ASMR, painting. I love reading. In the spring and summertime, we hike a lot. We go for walks. We don't really travel a whole lot. We have traveled, but anyone with small children out there will know that traveling with small children is our child with us on those travels, and he is so into traveling. He kind of asks to go places now that we've been before, and it's like, oh buddy, you know, we can't do that this time, or we'll have to go somewhere different this time. But anyways, that's a big thing for me. I'm a little geeky when it comes to like geocaching. A lot of people don't know what geocaching is. If you don't know what geocaching is and you're an outdoorsy person who kind of likes to get out, it's basically for lack of a better word, it's a treasure hunt. It's an app you can download on your phone. There's a free version, there's a premium version, and it's basically a treasure hunt. You follow coordinates and you get there. That's basically it. Anyways, guys, I think that's enough for today. I have a lot more painting to do, and I will upload another picture when I'm done before I start the next video. So hopefully we will see you in the next one,